What's going on, everybody? It's your boy ptkblam back in the building with another video. And before we dive into that, I just want to say thank you for everybody coming to check out the most recent videos on the channel, the support, subscribing to the channel as well. I appreciate all of you guys for showing love and support, man. Let's keep this going, and I'll make sure I leave some links to the most recent videos on the channel below. But let's dive into today's video. And as you guys can see about the thumbnail, I am talking a little bit about the current superhero gaming slump that we're in. And I didn't even realize it until after looking into this most recent Black Panther news we got. And if you guys didn't know, that's actually what triggered this video. We got some news recently, I think yesterday, about the Black Panther game being made by Cliffhanger Studios at EA being canceled. Not only was it canceled, the studio was also shut down. Very much the same thing what happened to Wonder Woman a few months ago, where the game had been in development for a few years. They didn't seem to make as much progress as the publisher wanted them to. It was still in pre-production, a lot of money, a lot of time, resources. So instead of just starting over, they just closed everything down. And unfortunately, it's EA. That's the route they're probably going to take more times than not. But I wanted to talk about the overall superhero gaming slump, because that's just 2 games this year. And I was really looking forward to both of those games. Now, out of the 2, the Iron Man game that was announced right alongside these is the game that I'm hoping actually stays in production. I'm hoping, only because I'm a big Anthem fanboy and I gotta see them use the flight mechanics from Anthem in Iron Man. I hope that they use those assets. That's the only reason I'm holding on and holding off and holding on, and hopefully that they continue to develop that game, because otherwise, who knows? But going forward, this has been a trend, man. Like, I had to really do some research, and I actually looked back at some of the more recent superhero games, and it's been like 4 or 5 years now where these games have not been successful. So I mentioned Black Panther, I mentioned Wonder Woman. Those games didn't even get off the ground. They were still in pre-production. You go even further back, like Suicide Squad, which had a ton of marketing. You would think it was a big IP, right? It's a known quantity. It's a known name in comics. They had a couple movies as well. $200 million budget. Flops right out the gate. It had a roadmap and everything, but people did not resonate with that game for whatever reason, and it just flopped. $200 million down the drain. Then you think about other things which don't have a direct impact. Something like the Spider-Man multiplayer being canceled, unfortunately. That's something that itself alone might have been able to reinvigorate superhero games. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you just need one that's doing really well, you know, to help the other ones out. You know, Marvel Rivals is kind of a whole different kind of game, so I'm not including that in this video. But Spider-Man multiplayer would have been a slam dunk. It was easy. Even if it wasn't good to start with, had they just built on it, it would have been fine. It would have grown. Could have been one of the biggest multiplayer games out. Then you go even further back to Guardians of the Galaxy by Square Enix. That game got high critical praise. A lot of players liked it. It did well from like a critic standpoint, from a score standpoint. But financially, it did not work out for Square. They said it did not make money, so it was not a profitable game. So for one reason or the other, these superhero games keep falling by the wayside, right? The one thing you got to understand about superhero games is that it's high risk, high reward. These IPs are super expensive, and they cost a lot of money. So not only are you fighting an uphill battle because you have a large movie studio or somebody that owns that character watching you like a hawk, saying, hey, you need to make this game this way. And they're also controlling the pocket strings. Then not only that, you got to get the game, you somehow fit the game you want to make within that character, and then present that to a crowd that doesn't know what it wants from that game. Like, I don't know what I wanted from a Black Panther game. I just hoped it would be good. Same thing with Wonder Woman, but that's a lot of pressure on the developers. And if you get it wrong, have a little slip, or you're off base a little bit in any way, that whole list of games is a result, and it seems to be less leeway for these superhero games. You know, people, if it's not what people want, it's down by the wayside. So this has just been an unfortunate trend with these kind of games. I do think that people are going to continue to make them. Insomniac, I believe, is signed up with Marvel for another like 3 or 4 games. I think they're even might be doing, outside of the Wolverine game, which is a whole nother scenario, I think they're even doing an X-Men game. I thought I saw that in the leaked documents a few years ago as well too, but we'll see if that's still on track. But at the end of the day, looking at the current scope of superhero games, it is a dry desert. It is a very, very dry desert, and it's very, very much mimicked the movie scene. You know, superhero movies for a while dried up. They're making a bit of a comeback now, but for a while, people were just tired of superhero movies, and it showed in the numbers. It showed in the support. People that want to see these games, people that want to play them, we're just not going to get those experiences, unfortunately. So once again, not going to keep this video too long. Let me know what you guys think about these unfortunate events that are happening with these superhero games. So if you had money, if you had a budget in the studio, let me know what IP, what superhero character would you choose and make a game out of as well. And last thing but not least, come follow me on TikTok. I put up daily content there. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the videos there as well too. But other than that, please enjoy your weekend. Peace out, everyone.